jump right on into nerd news now. Johnny, why don't you start off with our first story?
Yeah, so this is something that is deviating a little bit from what we normally talk about, but since we're the host, we could decide that. So there's apparently there's been a lot of I don't know what to say, like well, not so legal things that have been happening with some certain YouTubers, particularly Sam Goldbach and Colby Brock. Mm-hmm. They are two YouTubers that are pretty well known. They have a couple million subscribers between the two of them, and they got caught trespassing into an abandoned location. They haven't revealed what it was yet. But the announcement came out a few weeks ago, but they officially came out with their own kind of like admitting to it and kind of accepting what had happened, and a sort of apology about what had happened, because their whole thing is they like to go out and explore abandoned locations like abandoned schools, hospitals, and they even go into, like, one time I saw a video of them, they went into a bounce building. I don't know what you call it. It's like it's for, like, it's all trampolines. It's trampoline sports, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things are cool. I'd like to go to one of those.
And they waited until they closed down and hid between, like underneath it, so then they would close all the lights or turn off all the lights, close the doors, and leave. But they got caught because they forgot to pick up their shoes. Not the brightest guys, I'll tell you.
No. They thought they'd get away with it, but they were solely mistaken.
Oh my gosh. But this was a while ago. But most recently, they got caught trespassing, and while the people at I think it was called the Sky Zone, they were really okay with it, and they just let them stay after as long as they give them a shout out on their channel. The police were not as okay with it, though.
Wouldn't you imagine?
Yeah. So yeah, they got caught, and they basically made an apology and said, "We're still going to be doing that."
Awesome.
Which is great to admit after breaking the law. You know, great to say we're still going to be breaking the law.
What a couple of heels.
Yeah, but
hey.
Oh my gosh, but they did say that they're going to be a little bit more careful with it, and I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means
they're going to try not to get caught.
Yeah. I don't know if that means not get caught or make sure that it's okay.
Well, they're leading off with the right foot this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a great conversation.
Ooh.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm wearing Converse.
All right, that's enough.
All right. Yeah, we got to give this conversation the boot.
No.
You can't drop that.
I didn't mean to say conversation. Just it wasn't meant. The pun wasn't meant. Conversation.
Oh, you want to wrap this up? Well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What a screwy thing with a couple of screwballs to do.
Yes.
So.
But this also brings me into our other. This isn't really a story, just a bit of an update. Vic Mignogna has basically been fired from Rooster Teeth. He is no longer going to be the voice of Crow. He issued another apology on Twitter, I believe, Devin?
No. It was at a convention.
Oh, it was a convention. Okay.
Yes, he delivered it to some sort of panel, or it was a live event.
Okay.
So I thought that apology was a lot better than the one he put on Twitter, which was basically not an apology at all. And then he immediately took to his Discord to try to save his skin and get his fans to go after people. But no, it was a lot more heartfelt, but it was also to a room full of fangirls. So what you gonna do?
That's true.
Safe environment. But yeah, no, he has apologized. I think the video I saw was 3 days ago was put up. But yeah, the Rooster Teeth. I don't know necessarily that this counts as firing. They probably just are not having him sign a contract for season 7.
Yeah. But basically, he's no longer going to be the voice of Crow, which is what I'm trying to get at, and I'm very sad because...
Still getting that sick Funimation money, though.
Do you think they'll recast Crow or just write him out?
They said it's not going to affect the creative process of RWBY.
But Devin and I were talking about this on Snapchat the other day. Well, today.
Today.
Yeah. My time is all mixed up, guys. But I think everyone's kind of been theorizing that they're going to kill Crow. And so I think that's just what's going to happen.
Just knowing how these stories in general go, if somebody's gonna go, it's kind of like Naruto, where they kill off all of the mentor characters.
Yeah,
it's Crow's definitely next.
Yeah.
I mean, especially
you can't have
his character arc so far has just been kind of he's been nothing but destructive and sad and apart from everyone, that it just seems like it's a good time to get rid of him.
There's a name floating around right now, and I wish I could remember it without digging through annals of the internet. But there's a guy that apparently sounds a lot like Vic in a lot of different roles that people back when this surfaced a couple years ago, resurfaced again, people were talking about Rooster Teeth, get this guy in and recast. So.
Okay. All right. Devin, you were actually the one who brought up this next news topic, so why don't you lead us off?
Yeah, so Metro Exodus, is a long-awaited game, new Metro game. People are very, very excited. All the stuff they've shown has been very exciting. It looks awesome, and from what all of the early access people have said, it is awesome. But out of the blue, they announced that they've got on PC an exclusivity deal with Epic's Game Store, which is where Fortnite and a couple other popular titles run off of right now. It's their competitor to Steam. They're trying to undercut them by charging less to list games on the system. And the publisher for Metro, not the developer, has cut some sort of deal with Epic where they think they're going to, I don't know, both make a lot of money. And so now, even though they've been selling pre-orders and advertising for Steam, the only way to get it is through Epic, and Epic has basically nothing. It doesn't have like a chat service. It doesn't have like organized friends lists. It is so bare bones. It just runs programs, and also they've had some security issues and questions about the terms of service and stuff like that. So people are naturally upset. And then one of the developers, who is Russian, and it's very difficult to understand what he's saying, but he comes out on a forum and he's like, oh, well, the people who are complaining about this, they don't actually care about Metro. They're not real Metro fans. People are just upset that they have to take 5 seconds to install a new launcher. Yada, yada, yada. And he said basically guaranteed, he's like, if you boycott these games or get all riled up, we're just not going to release on PC anymore. And then a couple days later, the actual developers came out and said, hold on. This is a publisher decision, not us. And also, PC is a priority for us. This man does not speak for us. He's just angry. Please don't listen to him.
Okay, but he said, like, you're not a true fan if you...
Yes.
Okay, I have such an issue with people who are like that, like with video games, shows, books, or anything like that. You're a fan if you're a fan. Mm-hmm. Like, if you enjoy the content, you're a fan.
Yeah.
Well, he's basically what he was saying is, like, he wasn't saying they were, like, fake fans. He was saying, like, oh, these are all, like, pot stirrers that want to, like, hurt a developer or something. So, like, these aren't the people. These aren't our audience. Our audience would come to us. However, beck and call. You're not these people don't care about Metro. They just want the new controversy. And that is, according to the Metro community, not true. They are very upset. So.
Will, Johnny, what are your thoughts?
I think it's all because THQ defunked it in 2013. that's what I think
love me
about
some
that.
THQ.
Yeah, well, Metro 2033, I played it for like maybe a couple minutes at like a friend's house or something like that. But I enjoy the games. It's just like not really like first-person shooters are just like not really for me because they used to be kind of everything, and now it's just I don't know, maybe Black Ops 4 or something like that. That's usually what I go to and stuff. And I'm a huge normie when it comes to video games. I'm not gonna lie, like the biggest normie probably on this show. But
false. That would be me.
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, I really enjoyed like the last game, and I didn't even know about this like new one. I read somewhere like with like the Epic Games stuff, because they're affiliated with Fortnite about this like big controversy thing. I don't understand it, but like it seems. Intense, I suppose, but
yeah. You got nothing?
I got nothing, but it is interesting. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think you might actually have opinion to voice on this one. Xbox One, Switch, and PlayStation crossplay is being talked about.
Yeah. It sounds like so I don't remember who said it. It was a YouTuber that I wouldn't remember the name. But he said that the idea of this is something that a child's parents would go into GameStop not knowing how things work and ask if this is a possibility, and you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the fact that and me personally, like I wouldn't laugh at them, but in my head I'd be like, "Hey, you don't know anything." But the fact that this is actually going to maybe happen is kind of shocking to me. And I don't know. I wonder how that could work.
Sony has been a long time holdout on this, and I'm surprised they're letting anybody say anything really.
Yeah, I don't know how much of PlayStation is going to be involved in this crossplay. I know that there's rumors about Nintendo and Microsoft because they've been buddy for a little under a year.
Minecraft and all that jazz.
They made the Rabbids game last year, the Mario and
Yes,
Rabbids.
Mario, yeah.
Which was really good. I anger bought it last year.
I hear a lot of people that like RTS XCOM type games said it was pretty well designed.
Surprisingly good, and it is surprisingly difficult. And so the fact that they work together so closely, it makes perfect sense in my opinion. All they're missing now is Kingdom Hearts 3 on Switch. But
Johnny's not salty at all.
Not gonna happen.
I know.
I'm talking SquareSoft.
I think this would be such a smart marketing move because I don't know anything about video games, right?
Right.
But I can tell this would be a huge marketing thing. People would go out and buy more games because they're like, well, if it, normally this would only be for Xbox, but now I could get it for Switch, and we can play the same game,
and we don't have to have the same system to play with each other. And that's such a cool concept. The only problem though is that there's so few Nintendo games that even could switch over, could cross over with others, because they're
getting pretty open to.
They're opening a little bit more, but
what I would consider second-party developers.
Yeah.
They probably would not start with their biggest platforms, because right now, and this was just last month, in January, all that was from Sony was just Rocket League or something like that, where you could play on the Xbox One or Nintendo Switch. So those games are playable, but they're not gonna have. Nintendo's never gonna give away their bigger platforms to Sony. It's just not gonna happen.
Right,
yeah.
but they are bringing enough in. I think they're getting Doom, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah,
yes,
so that's absolutely would benefit from crossplay, and they're bringing Dark Souls. They're bringing enough titles inward that I think they can make it work.
From a practical standpoint, or I guess a technical standpoint, is this something that can even be done easily? Is this feasibly? Is it?
It's not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to be oh no, they're just such. You can totally do this, and from what I've read, Microsoft is working on a cross-platform development kit. I'm not saying that anything about making games or multiplayer is easy, but I'm saying, is this possible? Absolutely. It's all companies interfighting. It doesn't have anything to do with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of brings me back to the PS2 and GameCube days when because we were at a GameCube, and there's no sports games, and me and my brother, we were all about Madden and NBA and stuff like that, and back when the games were back before probably 2K and stuff like that, and the Gen 2 people probably know a lot more about this, but PS2 had better sports games, and that was just how it was. And
PS2
GameCube
was where it was at.
I know,
for a very long time.
Unfortunately, we just had the GameCube, which it was great platform now, and especially if you have GameCube controllers, everybody wants them because of Smash and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know that's how it is amongst my friends, and I have I think 2 or 3 original controllers left. So, but yeah, I remember back in the day, it was just crossplay was a lot more simpler. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
no, not really.
Oh,
Speaking of a simpler time, that's a terrible transition. But Walking Dead season 10 is happening now.
How is that a simpler time? Well, I guess the apocalypse would be better than.
Well,
how things are
it's
today,
a simple time back when we actually had Rick and Carl and Maggie and Herschel and everyone else.
And Andrea.
Yeah. we know. You love Andrea.
Yeah.
We know.
She died 7 years ago, spoiler alert, but
Yeah. But now there's rumors that Michonne's not going to be in season 10.
Yeah, and that is I'm frustrated by it, but I'm also not really surprised. She's not a big name in the Avengers, but the fact that she's on Avengers, what was the movie that just came out? Infinity War. I don't know why that's slipping from my mind.
I don't know either.
She's on the movie. Her name's on the movie poster, and of course, everyone and their dog is on the movie poster. Mm-hmm. But it's still really impressive that she went from Walking Dead to Avengers. I really love that she's becoming a bigger name. And so it makes sense why she's going to move, because she's probably going to have a lot more to do with the entire Avenger storyline. But she's always been Michonne. She's always Michonne first to me. And I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm a little bummed, but she said it's you just kind of have to move on or whatever. Kind of like what Lauren Cohan said. But
like The Walking Dead should do is move on.
You want it to end?
I do. People who know me know I'm a big Walking Dead fan. Daryl, he's my homeboy. But it's time for the show to end. like after they got rid of Carl and Rick and like, you know, half of the original people that we all know and love, that's when they should have just kind of been like, you know what, guys, we need to like end.
Yeah, I get that they're, you know, catching up to the comics, and they're eventually gonna start doing their own thing. But I mean, it's gonna take maybe 2 more years until they get to where the comics are now. And at that point, I mean, I was gonna say at that point they'd just be dragging their feet, but they've seemed like they've been dragging their feet for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad sort of that they're gonna be at episode 10, but also,
You mean season 10?
or sorry, season 10. Sorry, season 10. But I mean, you know, if this is the quality that they're gonna, you know, come out with, they're gonna go for 40, 50 years, and they're not gonna have any reason to stop. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch it because I watch everything, but you know,
You do.
It just was never like a show. I think we stopped watching it like season 4 or something like that. Oh shoot, I can't remember like the actual like season for it, but after the governor basically is when we stopped. So I think it went like, you know, first season, then like the farmhouse,
which is the best
prison. Yeah, I think farmhouse is great. I also think the prison one is pretty cool, with like the colony and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's just like never the thing that I could really get into, and now apparently it's still going. So
yeah, the problem. I think that it was at its peak. A lot of people would disagree with me, but I think that it's at its peak when it was at the farm. A lot of people said nothing happened there. I think everything happened there, and that's how you do a character story, which is what they were trying to do. The whole point of Walking Dead is not about the zombies, but now they're making the thread about the people, the Whisperers, and I don't really care. I just want to know about the survivors, and we don't have any left to care about.
Yeah.
So
I'd probably agree with that.
yeah.
Devin, do you have any words you want to say on this? Or you're just going to pass on?
I'm not a big Walking Dead guy, unfortunately. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
They want to do their movie trilogy as well. This is just a cash printing machine, so
That's
let them
fair.
have it. If you take issue with killing off characters, the 100 is not a show.
Yeah.
I tried it, and that is very brutal.
It is.
Yeah.
I like it, and I like what I'm watching it with somebody right now. But man, it is, especially when a lot of the groups are split up. There's like 7 different things going on.
Yeah.
and it's, like,
It's Game of Thrones-esque.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually want to talk about our new segment, our board game review. Johnny, do you
Yay.
want to take that on over?
Yeah, so every week we like to review a board game that we're playing because it's a big deal. This semester we're going to be bringing a lot of board games to life. And so last week we did
Suro.
Suro, which is one thing that we're going to be doing and bringing to life. But this week we're doing something a little bit more complicated than that, and it is Disney's Villainous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're trying to show it to the
Very
camera.
good,
We're not
very
on
good.
Facebook.
Oh yeah, we're not on Facebook. Okay, well, if a radio, if you're listening on the radio, this is what the box looks like. It's an amazing game. It's by Disney. It's made from Disney. It's by Wonderforge, and essentially you pick one of 6 Disney villains: Maleficent, Jafar, Captain Hook, Ursula, Prince John, and Queen of Hearts.
Prince John is my favorite.
I like Captain Hook. And it's an asymmetric board game, which means that each player, depending on which villain they choose, has a different goal that they have to reach. And so sometimes a Prince John has to get 20 power, which is like the currency of the game, whereas Captain Hook has to defeat Peter Pan at a certain location. So it's a strategy game. It's a card game. It's this and Betrayal are 2 of my favorite games. So I really enjoyed it. What do you guys think?
I really liked it. Yeah, I had a good time. I know why you like it.
Why do I like it?
It's Kingdom Hearts, the board game.
No, that actually is nothing to do with it.
Sure.
I bet it is.
It's really not. I really like the strategy aspect of it. And
No, it is a lot of fun, and I was kind of sick when we played, and my brain was fried, and I could not think. And so Johnny held my hand for like 15 minutes. He was like,
Yeah.
take your turn, do this. And then like once it finally all came together and clicked for me, I was like, it activated that like Monopoly gland I
Yeah.
have.
The
I'm
Monopoly.
You were
man.
sick.
I
Now I
like
have
that.
to
You were
kill
you were sick.
everybody.
You were playing the most difficult character, which is Jafar, and and it was your first time playing, and you still won.
He did.
So,
I'm so upset about
I'm
it.
impressed.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
exciting. I had a good time.
I didn't necessarily have like a rallying point exactly like yours. I was completely healthy and I was like still very, very much confused because I'm a normie. But,
There's a lot going on in that.
It
game.
is.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot, and like I'm not very good with like like a bunch of like things like
Yeah.
to happen like in a board game. I'm more of like a Scrabble, or I'm actually a zero
Oof.
person where it's
You're
like,
with the wrong
there's
people.
like a clear like strategy where it's like okay, like
I like me some
it's
Scrabble.
easy to figure out like what you need to do, but it's all about strategy.
Yeah.
And this board game like takes a while, but I really like it, and you want to like try to like do different characters. And
Yeah,
stuff.
for
So,
sure.
That's a big positive about that is it's asymmetrical.
I also really enjoy playing this. But my favorite part is like when other people are playing. So like we had Corbett playing, and that was just an interesting time because we got to learn so much about our producer Corbett. So shout out to you, Corbett. We were trying to bribe him to say naughty words, meaning swear words we can't say because of FCC.
Yes.
And we got so close. We got him so close. We were $3 short.
I have to say, one thing I really like, one of my favorite aspects of this game is you can play it 6 times, and one for each of the characters, and every single time it's a different experience. And then not only that, but when you lock into a character that you really like, their gameplay, their style of the victory, however it is, you really learn the strategies, and more every time you get to play them, you really learn it. And so, like for instance, I've played against Eli the past 48 hours so many times, but every time I play somebody other than Hook, I get really stressed because I don't know what I'm doing. But then I go back to Hook, and I'm just like, okay, this is a good, like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what to do here. And so it's kind of nice that everybody kind of has their own favorite character. But,
Yeah.
do you want to rate it real quick? I would.
Yeah, real quick. Everyone
Okay.
give their rating, just no explanations.
Okay.
Go.
9.5 out of 10 hooks. Hook hands.
8 out of 10 magic lamps.
7 out of 10 times I faded Johnny.
8 out of 10 wickets, which are the little croquet things.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys. That has been Nerd News Now. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we have some fun stuff planned. Some more villainous talk. But for right now, it has been Corey, Johnny, Devin, and Will. We'll be back.